And the president has set people responsible to be able to push that action level.
And as you come in, I'd like you to talk about, you know, that mentality that it's our time to eat. Because I think it was a book by One Wrong who mentioned, you know, highlighting some of the instances that played out during Moi's administration, and now Kibaki had come in and said, it's our time to eat. So even as we look at a headline that, you know, key state jobs are for loyalists, how do we break down that thinking that ilikuwa time yao sasa ni sisi tuko hapa, we will look for ways to influence perhaps? How do we nip this at the bud? Is it due prosecution? Is it through political goodwill from where you sit?
I think that's why what you've just said, Jesse, is why you must appreciate what the president did this week. Because this level of appointment, this PS in particular, as PS or all PSs, really not her particular case, so that we don't personalize it. But the PSs in government today are part of the major shareholders. You know, they're the shareholders. They may not have been at the center of the shareholding, but they are at the periphery of the center of the shareholding. Before you get to Kevin, before you get to Kioko, before you get to Wafula. So now, this is a shareholder who has been removed. That's how big this sacking was all about. That the president did not sit and think about the political implication of removing a shareholder and a major shareholder that he had trust on. Now that is tempo. That in itself, you can't fault the president at that particular point. It means all other people, even the ones that the deputy president is saying, well, they will get the jobs first. Yes, they will get the jobs first, but they're also going to be the first ones to be sacked. Because the president is saying there are no sacred cows in this fight against corruption. So that you can't take that feather off the president's hat. Now, there are certain issues that also need to be followed up. The question of judiciary, which Kevin has talked about, you don't set time for the judiciary. You empower the judiciary to be effective in execution of mandate. That I am a PS, my case should not be handled faster than an ordinary Mama Boga there whose land is being stolen and the case has dragged on for 10 years. But you want to clear my name today, or you want to clear Mheshimiwa Tandaza's name today, so you set up a special case for him, or you... No. You must empower the judiciary so that first, the personnel in the judiciary, accessibility to justice, and therefore delivery of justice is timely and efficient. Justice delayed is justice denied. For all Kenyans. So in the matters of the judicial reform, it's not what is contained in the BBI. Some pronouncements that the president is saying are welcome. When you're saying you're going to build court infrastructure of judiciary, if each county today has a court of appeal infrastructure, if each county today has high courts that can easily listen to all the divisions of matters, civil, commercial, criminal, and all that, it means somebody in Makueni does not have to pursue his matter in Nairobi. Somebody in Kinango does not have to come to Nairobi for a court of appeal issue, because you can have a court of appeal centrally. When you have the judiciary well performed and manned, then it means our delivery of justice moves from the traditional 5 years to maybe 1 year. It means cases of corruptions are dealt with quickly, so that if you are named, just the naming of it, because when you're given this position of authority, you must be as clean as Caesar's wife. That's a mantra. So if somebody suspects you, you need to step out knowing that in 1 year or so, my matter will be resolved. It helps in the fight against corruption. So I think we must get there. The president's pronouncements, which we will hold him to account, I believe will take us there. Thirdly, which is critical, people think that in Kenya, cabinet secretaries are the most powerful people in the ministry. But the truth of the matter is that there's a person called principal secretary. The PS is the most powerful person who is vested with legislative legal instruments
Kioko.
to run. Yeah, the PS is the most powerful person with legislative, and PSs are not known. Today, if you go to a function and people see a minister, that Bendera, they run to the minister. The PS can come and sit with the Watus. But you know, at the end of the day, what the minister will be told, he will run it by the PS so that the ministry's programs are aligned to suit a particular issue. The PS is the most powerful individual. yet we don't know him, yet we don't hold him to account. We rush to this person who has the bandera because it is politically convenient. Buyer beware. So on the question again, on political responsibility.
Goodwill, yeah.
Political responsibility. I remember one day, Mheshimiwa Kiraitu talked about it when he had been kicked out on the question of holding political responsibility. And he stood in the floor of parliament. And he said he was removed as a Minister of Justice because of that laughter. And when he went home, his wife and kids were asking him, he 1 billion, iko wapi? It was not him. And Kiraitu on the floor of the house, you could see the man was pained. Say, it is this political responsibility is a very nebulous thing. Okay. It's not there. You can't touch it, but it needs to be felt. Now, when the president needs to know that, like